Welcome to War Bios, the podcast where we delve into the complexities of military history's most pivotal battles. I'm your host, General Biography, and today we're going to explore one of the most fascinating conflicts in European history, the Battle of Cerignola. This battle marked a significant turning point in the Italian Wars, showcasing innovative tactics that would change the face of warfare forever. As we embark on this journey through time, let's set the stage for the events that led up to this crucial battle. The year is 5003, and the Italian peninsula is a hotbed of conflict, with various city-states and kingdoms vying for power. The Kingdom of Naples, under the rule of King Frederick I, was a strategic prize in the ongoing struggle between the great powers of Europe. The Spanish monarch, Ferdinand II of Aragon, had long been seeking to expand his dominions in Italy, while the French king, Louis II d'If, was determined to maintain his country's influence in the region. The town of Cerignola itself is nestled in the fertile plains of Apulia, surrounded by rolling hills and verdant vineyards. The terrain was ideal for the Spanish army, with its open fields and gentle slopes allowing for easy maneuvering. Gonzalo Fernandez de Cordoba, the renowned Spanish general, carefully selected a defensive position near the town, utilizing the natural barriers to his advantage. De Cordoba's forces had been campaigning in Italy for several years, and he had developed a deep understanding of the local terrain and the tactics required to succeed in this theater. The French army, under the command of Louis d'Armagnac, Duke of Nemours, was approaching Cerignola with a large force, eager to crush the Spanish opposition and secure Naples for France. However, de Cordoba's defensive position and the terrain itself would prove to be significant obstacles for the French. The French army was largely composed of heavily armored knights and men-at-arms who were accustomed to fighting in the traditional style of medieval warfare. In contrast, the Spanish army was more lightly armored and relied on speed, mobility, and clever tactics to outmaneuver their opponents. As we delve deeper into the history of the Battle of Cerignola, it becomes clear that this conflict was not just a simple clash of arms, but a complex interplay of politics, diplomacy, and military strategy. The Spanish and French monarchies were engaged in a struggle for dominance, with the Italian Wars serving as a proxy for their larger rivalry. The battle would ultimately decide the fate of southern Italy, shaping the course of European history for centuries to come. The events leading up to the Battle of Cerignola were marked by a series of diplomatic maneuvers and strategic alliances. In 1501, the French and Spanish had signed the Treaty of Granada, which divided the Kingdom of Naples between them. However, this treaty was short-lived, and the two powers soon found themselves at odds over the territory. The Papal States, under the leadership of Pope Alexander VI, played a crucial role in the conflict, providing financial and military support to both sides at various times. With the stage set and the armies gathering, we're on the cusp of a major conflict that will showcase innovative tactics and decisive leadership. The Battle of Cerignola was a masterpiece of tactical planning, showcasing the genius of Gonzalo Fernandez de Cordoba, the renowned Spanish general. De Cordoba's forces had been campaigning in Italy for several years, and he had developed a deep understanding of the local terrain and the tactics required to succeed in this theater. He carefully selected a defensive position near the town of Cerignola, utilizing the natural barriers to his advantage. The Spanish army was deployed in a novel formation, with arquebusiers and crossbowmen positioned behind a series of earthworks and trenches, while the cavalry was held in reserve. The French army, under the command of Louis d'Armagnac, Duke of Nemours, was approaching Cerignola with a large force, eager to crush the Spanish opposition and secure Naples for France. However, de Cordoba's defensive position and the terrain itself would prove to be significant obstacles for the French. The French army was largely composed of heavily armored knights and men-at-arms who were accustomed to fighting in the traditional style of medieval warfare. In contrast, the Spanish army was more lightly armored and relied on speed, mobility, and clever tactics to outmaneuver their opponents. As the French army approached, de Cordoba's forces held their fire, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The French cavalry, led by the Duke of Nemours, charged forward with great enthusiasm, but they were met with a hail of gunfire from the Spanish arquebusiers and crossbowmen. The French knights were cut down in droves, their heavy armor proving little protection against the withering firepower of the Spanish infantry. Meanwhile, the Spanish cavalry, led by de Cordoba himself, launched a series of devastating counterattacks, exploiting the weaknesses in the French lines and routing their opponents. The Battle of Cerignola was a resounding victory for the Spanish, with the French army suffering heavy casualties and their commander, the Duke of Nemours, being killed in action. The battle marked a significant turning point in the Italian wars, as it demonstrated the effectiveness of innovative tactics and the importance of adapting to changing circumstances on the battlefield. De Cordoba's use of earthworks, trenches, and firepower had revolutionized the art of warfare, paving the way for the development of modern infantry tactics. The aftermath of the Battle of Cerignola was marked by a series of diplomatic maneuvers, as the Spanish and French monarchies sought to negotiate a peace treaty. The Treaty of Lyon, signed in 1504, recognized Spanish control over Naples and marked a significant shift in the balance of power in Italy. The battle had also demonstrated the importance of clever tactics and decisive leadership, as de Cordoba's genius on the battlefield had outmaneuvered and outfought his French opponents. The innovative tactics employed by de Cordoba and the Spanish army would influence the development of warfare for centuries to come, while the battle's outcome would shape the course of European history. In the years following the battle, the Spanish continued to consolidate their control over Naples, with Gonzalo Fernandez de Cordoba playing a key role in the city's governance. The Treaty of Lyon, signed in 1504, recognized Spanish sovereignty over the kingdom, and de Cordoba was instrumental in negotiating the terms of the treaty. However, the Spanish victory at Cerignola also had significant implications for the development of warfare. De Cordoba's innovative tactics, which emphasized the use of earthworks, trenches, and firepower, would influence military strategy for centuries to come. The battle marked a shift away from traditional medieval warfare, with its emphasis on heavy cavalry and chivalry, towards a more modern approach that prioritized discipline, training, and technology. As the 16th century progressed, the Spanish would continue to refine their military tactics, incorporating new technologies such as the arquebus and the cannon into their arsenal. The development of these new technologies would have a profound impact on the nature of warfare, allowing armies to field larger, more disciplined forces that could project power over greater distances. The legacy of the Battle of Cerignola can also be seen in the rise of other European powers, such as the French and the Germans, who would adopt similar tactics and technologies in their own military campaigns. The battle marked a significant milestone in the development of modern warfare, paving the way for the conflicts of the 16th and 17th centuries, including the 30 Years' War and the Wars of the Spanish Succession. In addition to its military significance, the Battle of Cerignola also had important cultural and economic implications. The Spanish victory marked the beginning of a period of significant cultural exchange between Spain and Italy, with artists, writers, and musicians traveling between the two countries and influencing each other's work. The battle also facilitated trade and commerce between the two regions, with Naples becoming an important hub for the exchange of goods such as textiles, spices, and metals. Today, the legacy of the Battle of Cerignola can still be seen in the city of Naples, where visitors can explore the historic center and see the remnants of the Spanish fortifications that were built in the aftermath of the battle. The battle is also commemorated in a number of museums and historical sites throughout Italy and Spain, serving as a reminder of the significant role that this conflict played in shaping the course of European history. The innovative tactics employed by de Cordoba and the Spanish army would influence the development of warfare for centuries to come, while the battle's outcome would shape the course of European history, facilitating cultural exchange, trade, and commerce between Spain and Italy. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.